Parshas Teruma. This shiur is dedicated to the memory of Rachaleah bas Rav Chaim Tzvi. In Parshas Teruma, we have the command to build a Mishkan, a tabernacle, also called a Mikdash. Let's see where the command is. Turn to chapter 25, verse 8. V'asuli Mikdash, and they should make for me a sanctuary, a Mikdash, v'shachanti b'tocham, and I will dwell among them. And the rest of the Parsha, and next week's Parsha also, Parshas Tetzaveh, is going to talk about how to build a Mishkan, the Kalim, the vessels in the Mishkan, and also how to actually build the structure of the Mishkan. Now, in Jerusalem, we had a Beit HaMikdash, a temple, a permanent structure, although it was destroyed after hundreds of years. In the Midbar, in the desert, we had a Mishkan, which is like a Beit HaMikdash, but a temporary one. It's actually a movable Mikdash. They were able to take it apart and put it together every time the Jewish people would travel. Now, there are many vessels in the Mishkan, or in the Mikdash. I'm probably going to end up using those words interchangeably. And I wanted to discuss the symbolism of one of the vessels, specifically the shulchan, the table. I want to talk about it in the context of the whole idea of Mishkan. Why does Hashem command us to make a Mikdash? Why do we need a tabernacle? And again, what took place there? What was in the temple? We had the avodah, the service. People brought sacrifices there. Private people, and specifically the Kohanim, the priests, brought sacrifices there every day. We had different services which were done with different vessels. What's the reason for Hashem telling us to build a Mikdash? Why do we need it? And I wanted to look at the answer from a few different perspectives based on different commentators. So first, let's discuss the shulchan, the table. What exactly was it? Is it a table like you and me might use at our kitchen? Or is it a different sort of table? So, turn to chapter 25, verse 23. This is the command to build the table. Vasita shulchan, and you should make a table atzei shitim, from shitim wood, amatayim arko, its length is 2 amot, v'amarach bo, and its width is 1 amma, v'ama b'chetzi komato, and its height is 1.5 ammas. In this verse, we're given the dimensions of the table: 1 amma in length, 2 ammas in length, 1 amma in width, and 1.5 ammas in height. And 1 amma, again, is the distance from here to here, around from your elbow to the tip of your finger. V'tzipita oto zahav tahor, and you should gild it, you should cover it with pure gold. V'asita lo zer zahav saviv, and you should make a golden crown for it around. V'asita lo misgeret, and you should make for it a frame. Tofach saviv, 1 tefach, which is a smaller distance all around. V'asita zer zahav lemiskarto, and you should make a crown for the frame, saviv, around. Now, what exactly did this table look like? So far we know there's a table, and we know its dimensions. We know that it's made out of wood, and that it's covered in gold, and we know that it has some sort of frame. And we also know that there's a crown. Now, there's a crown on the frame. That's what we're told in verse 25. But before that, in verse 24, we're told about a crown. So is this the same crown, or is this a different crown? Are there 2 crowns, or is there 1 crown that we're just told about twice? Make a crown, and this is where you make the crown on the misgeret. And we'll see how the commentators answer that question. But so far we understand. We have a table, again, 4 legs, flat on top, and we have some sort of misgeret, some sort of border, which is jutting out from the table. It's jutting out for around a tefach. And we have a crown, some sort of, like a crown, around this frame. And possibly another crown somewhere else. Continuing verse 26. Vasita lo arba tabaot zahav, and you should make for it 4 golden rings. V'natata et tabaot al arba hapeot, and you should place the rings on the 4 corners. Asher arba raglav, that are at the 4 legs. Lumat hamiskeret yana tabaot, the rings should be opposite. They should be parallel the crown. Labatim labatim laseit et hashulchan. Again, what is the purpose of these rings? They are housing for the rods that were used to carry the shulchan. Remember, the Mishkan is a temporary structure. The vessels are not temporary, but the actual physical structure that the vessels are housed in is temporary. Now, what would happen when the Jews had to travel from one place to another place? Because they traveled many times in the 40 years they were in the desert. Well, what they did is that they would take apart the entire Mishkan. They would load some of the things onto carriages, and that's how they would carry them, while the vessels were carried by the Kohanim, by different priests or Levites, and they were carried with rods. So we have rings on all the vessels for rods to be placed in the rings, and that way the Kohan, whether it's a Levi or a Kohen, the person who was carrying it could carry it with the rods